أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Ameen. I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his slave and servant. He is the Khatam al-Nabi. He is the seal of all the prophets. All praises is due to Allah. Peace be unto you, and unto you be peace. My name is Brother Muhammad Abu Bakr Abdullah from the Brother in the Corner. And I'm here today on this beautiful day just to sit here and talk with you to see how you are doing. To find out how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is blessing you on this day. What is your blessing on this day? What is your blessing beyond the fact that you are alive today? What is your blessing? Share what is your blessings today. As I sit here, I am grateful to Allah for you. I am grateful to Allah for what He has provided. I'm in my backyard. Just thought that I'll come out here and sit and talk with you all. It's a nice day out while the sisters and the kids play. Inshallah, just to bring a full some reality to what is going on. This thing is live, so bring some reality to that. But something I want to speak on as you get on here and you allow us to know how you're doing and how Allah has blessed you today. I want to bring a question to everyone. Why do you believe that it is so hard, or do you believe that it is hard to galvanize our youth? What do you believe that it will take for us to be able to bring our youth together on a specific concept? What do you believe that it will take? A lot of times I go out and I do my mentorship. I go and I listen to the children. I listen to the youth to figure out what it is that they want or what it is that they're looking at. Something that I had recognized some years ago is that when I look at our youth today and then I listen to the news or different groups or people in general and how they speak with regards to our youth today, but then I have to always go back and ask myself, what was there for me as a youth? What was it there for me as a youth? Was there programs there for me as a youth? Was the religious affiliations, were they engaged in our daily lives when we were as youth? What about our leaders in our community leaders, our community in general? Was that in our favor when we were at youth? So I have to step back before I look at the youth today and call myself trying to judge or evaluate them. I have to step back and look at what it was like for me in my youth and what was it that I had in my youth that perhaps could have helped or did not help during that time. And in me understanding that, then I can better understand where my young brothers and sisters are going and are at today. And I mean in general, creation of God. So so I'm also trying to figure out how is it and what is it that we believe that it's going to take for us to get their ears. Because right now we're being shown what they're gravitating towards. And a lot of what is being gravitated towards today is not beneficial for them in their future. I'm sure that you can agree with me. Even though there are things out there that is uh, beneficial to them, but there are the multitude of those things that are not beneficial to their future. So what is it that we could do to bring about results for that? Give them that avenue out. As I was saying, I step back and I look at my youth and I say, well, you know what? We did have programs. We did have groups that were geared towards trying to help the inner city communities out and the youth out amongst us. We had YMCAs and WMCAs. We had the Salvation Armies we used to go to, and they would do things with us. We had different religious affiliations we could go to, and they would do things with us, and trips, and educational programmings, and school programmings, and trips, and all kind of stuff that we had. But today they don't have that, right? They don't have that. They don't have that community support. They don't have that religious affiliation support. They don't have that governmental program support. They don't have a lot of the things that actually I don't see that they have none of the things that we had prior when I was a youth today. So we're not having. So my question becomes: if you don't have guidance, if you don't have a sense of guidance or assistance from the community, or if you don't have, you're a youth and you don't have that guidance and assistance coming from religious affiliations, or if you're a youth and you don't have that guidance coming by way of some program in our communities that can assist them in better understanding what they're doing. What do you do if you're a youth and you don't have those things? It's not like they got parks. It's not like they got YMCAs and boys clubs and things that they can get involved in today. So what is it? What is it that they have that to deter them from creating their own way? First thing they don't have, don't have the ear of the people to listen to them, because the anti-them has been created, and we have fell into the anti-youth program. And now anything that the youth does, or we think they do, we automatically categorize them as being menace, or they just they not no good, or you need to lock them up, or you need to do all these things. So my question becomes to us is, what is it that we need to do to bring back those things for the youth so that they do have an option? Today we don't give them an option rather to go and do this or that. Today their influences at the inner cities. What's going on in the inner cities become a perpetual thing. It's over and over and over and over. It goes over again. So their role models that were there when I was a youth, they don't have today. Their role models today is different from the role models I had when I was a youth. It's different from the ones you had when you were a youth. But today, because they don't have proper guidance, proper role models today, they're finding their own ways. And in finding their own ways, they're finding that there are more people than not that agree in their time with what the agendas that they're looking for. So then what they do, they get together on those agendas and may have in their hearts the good to do what was right with it. But as we all know, without proper guidance, then you're going to get led astray. And then what you do is they find themselves now engaged in things as these groups, that they weren't looking for. These weren't the things that they were bargaining for. But today, this is what you have. You know what I'm saying? You have this today. And now it's gangs. They call them gangs and all these different things. And they finding their own way. Why? Because no one's listening to them. Everybody's trying to tell them what to do, but ain't nobody asking them what is it that they need. What is it that they need to assist them? You know what I'm saying? So what are some of the understandings? Get down in the comment section and let me know, what are some of the understandings that you have with regards to, as you too, all you youth. Get down in the comment section and let us know, what is it that you're looking for? What is it that we could do to assist you in understanding that there's a better way of doing things other than doing what is wrong? What type of leadership is you looking for? You have a voice as a youth. You have a voice in our society. You have a big voice in our society, because one day us as adults will be gone and it will be left for you to govern. So we need to start listening to you now as to how your thoughts, your values, and your morals are. What are your likes and your dislikes are. So we can understand what we need to impart upon you from our experiences in this time now, so that you could do better by doing what you're doing as a youth, so the youth can do better. So what is it that we can do to try to bring to enlighten them now, to listen to them, I'm a strong believer that if you're going to draft a program for somebody, you might as well have them in the midst of the program, bring them in to get their views. How you draft a program for someone and you ain't never lived in their shoes? It's impossible. It's impossible. You don't know what is needed. But if you take them who need it and you put them amongst you, they can let you know these things. So when you develop, whatever it is you're developing, you get it all the way around. You get it all the way around. So, what is it are youth looking for? Have you sat and asked your children what is it they're looking for in life? Have you sat and asked your nieces and nephews that are youth? What is it that they want to do? What does their future look like? Have you asked them these things? What are some of the concerns that they have in their communities? What are some of the concerns that they're having in their schools? What are some of the concerns they're having in their household? What are some of the concerns that they're having within themselves? A lot of our youth are afraid to speak out. They're afraid to talk to us about things. Why? For the sake of being criticized or made felt little, or if though they don't know what they're talking about. But sometimes we got to stop the cycle and start listening to what they have to say. We have to stop the cycle and start trying to administer them into the things that we're doing. Any type of program, because them the ones that's going to have to carry it out. Them the ones you can't keep an old school program and think it's going to last when you're gone. You can't do that. Youth is coming, and they're coming full force. So have you sat with yours, family of household? In our family, something that I love about our family is that we have this thing called the honoring of the elders throughout our whole family. I'm talking about from everybody, cousins, everybody, okay? We have this thing that is called honoring of the elders, and it is put on by some of the female cousins of our family. And what this does is that everyone comes, and the elders that are here in our family, as far as like our aunties and those that are coming down up in those ages, our grandmother's children, we put them up and we honor them. Every year we have this. We honor our elders of our family every year. And then when someone else gets to that age in our family, maybe a cousin or whatever, then we put them in that category and we honor them of our elders, because we don't know where we're going without them, right? We don't know where we're going without them. So in the same is the youth. We need to pull them in to find out what it is that they want. What type of society they're looking for. You know, everybody out there is committing crimes. They're not out there because they want to be doing that. You know, it's a lack of influence, a lack of proper guidance. Then that falls on us because we're not listening to them. We're not paying attention to them. Maybe we need to start paying attention more to what they're saying in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to arouse the youth. Arouse the youth. Why? So that they can stay on us. Because we get caught in our ways as we get in age. We tend to not want to change. We tend to not want to adventure off into things, to make things more. We want to keep things as they are. But the youth is coming up. What we did in our days, they can't do in their days. They're doing it differently. But what they could use is that proper guidance that we had, that was given to us to do what we do. And we can't make them, but we can give them the tools to do it with. But if ain't nobody listening, don't want to let them come to the table, then you can't complain because they're out here doing what they're doing. They're doing it because the people that's listening to them, that's the ones that's doing it. If you want them to do better, then perhaps you need to listen to them. Find out what's going on in their heads, in their mind, what their hearts are talking about. Find out what their hurts are. A lot of our youth are petrified out here in these streets. They don't know if they're going to live from one day to another. They don't know. So, they need to be able to express those things. They need to feel comfortable with expressing them things. You know, we do a lot of things, and we go out and we be out there for them, and we put all kind of programs and all kind of whatever we do out there for them, but not one time did we ask them, did they want that? Did we ask them, did they need that? We put what we believe they need. Perhaps what we believe they need is not. Perhaps what we believe they need is not. And the only way that we will find out, you and I, will find out is what they need, is to go and ask them. What is it that you're looking for? What programs do you need to succeed? I have some that I can suggest to you that help me, but then I want you to give me some that you believe that's going to help you. Then you take those programs and then you try to mesh them together and come out with the ultimate program. They feel more inclusive in the program because they have something to do with it. But they don't want to really go to a program where they feel they're going to go to it and they're just going to be told what to do. They're just going to be ridiculed about what they're doing, their lifestyles. You can't go out and beat somebody up and think that they're going to be lifted. It's impossible to do. If you disagree with me, get down into the comment section and tell me you disagree. Tell me why you disagree. You know, let us know. I mean, I'm not saying that I know it all. I don't. But I know youth. You know, I spend a lot of time with them. What is it that they like? What is it that they want? Maybe if we as adults or old schools or whatever want to categorize it, maybe if we start to listen to them, you know what I'm saying? Not pseudo listen, but actually listen to what they're saying and what they want. You find out that a lot of what they want is the same thing we want, but they're just learning how to present it in a different way. But because we don't sit with them and speak with them, we don't get it. And that is the job of us. That is our job, to attend to our youth. That's our responsibility, to attend to our youth. We can't just let them go. We can't cast them off because they're looking for leadership as well. Just like when we were youth, we were looking for leadership. So we're not perfect. Think of some of the things that we didn't get into in our youth. Perhaps the same thing we're looking at them and saying today about them, someone looked at us and said the same thing. Just based off of what they thought. They probably didn't even know us, but just based off what was put out there, the anti-us that was put out there. The anti-us created an environment where people were able to do and say what they wanted about us without being checked. And that's what's going on today. An anti-youth program is being pushed out there, and everybody drinking the Kool-Aid of the anti-youth program, and now no one's listening to them, and everybody wants to see them locked up or whatever. Take the time to stop and listen. Remember, you was a youth at one time yourself. You wanted somebody to listen. You had things you believed that was best for you, and nobody would listen. Things you wanted to do, and nobody would listen. You had good ideals, and nobody would take them. How did that make you feel? What position did they put you in emotionally? Then think about our youth today, and they are going through that twice the times. Because there's a real war out there on them today. There's a real war out there on the youth today. So maybe it's time for us to stop for a minute, push down on our brakes, and stop trying to create things for people that we never asked if they actually even wanted it, or if they actually even needed it. We just automatically assume that this is the program that a youth need, and we go and create it and build it and do it and find out, wow, why they not getting involved? Because they didn't tell you that's what they needed. They didn't tell you that. You never even called them in to sit them at the table to find out. And because they're not coming now they offcast, they're outcasts. We don't want them to be around us. We don't want nothing to do with them. You know, they're just bad. They're just this or they're just that. No, they're not that. Stop for a minute and pay attention to some of the things they're saying. When somebody don't listen to you, you cop an attitude. You know that. You feel a certain kind of way if you're trying to get your point across to somebody and ain't nobody paying no attention to you, you feel a certain kind of way. Well, the youth feel the same way. Ain't nobody paying attention to them every day. Ain't nobody paying attention to them every day. Everybody putting stuff out that they believe that they want. And they ain't listening to the youth when they telling us what it is that they need. So, you got to go back and look at your youth. You know how you felt when you was a youth. You know how you felt back then when your word meant nothing? You know how you felt out there when they was calling you all kind of names and casting you off as you just don't even, there's no concern and you this, you that. You know how it was when you was a youth? Stop doing that to the youth then. You stop doing it because you should be a better example now. You should stop doing that. You're a better example now because you'd have been through it. You didn't like it when you went through it. So what I try to do is that the things that I needed when in my youth that I didn't get, I try to give to the youth. The things that I needed when I was a youth, I did not get when I was a youth. I try to make sure that I put that out there for the youth today. I ain't here to bash them. I don't want to bash them. I don't want to ridicule them. I don't want to do none of that. I want to hear what they got to say. We always tell them that the youth is our future, but we don't even listen to them. We don't even try to hear what they got to say, and y'all keep saying they are our future. How do you not listen to that? How do you not listen to that? That's very important that we do. Is to take the moment to listen to our youth. They're the ones that will be governing our society. It's something that I'm telling you. I went for an interview, a job interview one time. And when I went in for the interview, the HR was 22 years old. This was a young man. He was 22 years old. He was the HR. I'm going in there, I'm seeking this man's permission to come work into their establishment. 22 years old. The youth is doing what they do, but they need to be heard. I'm asking you to listen. I'm asking you, don't be so quick to talk about them. Don't be so quick to put them down. Listen to what they got to say. Who knows? What they say may make the world a whole better place. It may make the world a whole better place if you took the time to just listen. Sometimes if you ain't got no youth, you ain't got no young folk that around you all the time. When you come up to one, say hi and ask them, can I ask you a question? And ask them a useful question. If I was able to create a program or create a job or whatever that would suit you best, what would that be? What would you think that would be? And let them tell you what it is. Let them tell you what it is. Don't you tell them. Let them tell you what that job or what that school or that program or what it is. Let them tell you what it is. And then when they tell you what it is, then you go to the next person and you ask that same question to the next youth. Survey the youth and ask them what is it that they want. And then you take that and create what you got and put it together, and now you will see how many youth come and become a part of that program, because now it look like them. I'm a firm believer if you open up a book and begin to read it and get into the book and can't find yourself in it, close it. Close it. Close it. Because it ain't serve you a purpose. It ain't serve a purpose. And that's what the youth is doing to all these programs they're creating around here. They're closing the books on them because they don't believe that it serves their purpose. How could it if they never asked them? If they never include them in the plans? How could it? And that's go through, I don't care what it is. It's big in religious organizations. It's huge in religious organizations. You got boards and all kind of people. They sitting up there and they planning all kind of stuff for the summer for the youth. And not one of them asked the youth, did they want to do it? Not one person asked the youth, did they want to do it? We just created and planned a whole summer for them. And we don't even know if they even want it. We don't really care because the objective is to make them do it anyway. To make them do it anyway, as though they have no choice in the matter. They all still have a choice. You can't keep on imposing compulsion upon people. We can't keep doing that. Because every time we enforce something on someone that don't want it, the outcome of it's going to be worse than it was before we even forced it in the beginning. Believe me, I'm asking you, believe me, take the moment to ask the youth what it is that they want. Don't subside them. They there, ask them. What is it that you like doing the most? And when they tell you what it is, don't break it and try to break them out of it. Explain to them about it, or get them to explain to you more about it. Get to them to explain more to you about what they want to be. If we do that, then we'll get to see more about what our youth is about. We don't know what they're about because we don't talk to them. And if you're afraid of them, then you have to ask yourself, what is your contributing to their behavior now that you're afraid of them? Because they're not just out there just to be out there. They're out there based on a learned behavior. And that learned behavior didn't start with them. It started with us when we were youth. And the youth that raised us and the youth that raised them. You see what I'm saying? It's a long thing that's going on today. What they're doing today is just a microcosm of what we were doing. So we can't hate on them. We can't hate on them. What we got to do is do a reverse thing on them and find out what it is they want. Put more energy into doing for them that people didn't do for you when you was a youth. When you needed them to do it for you. When you needed that shoulder and nobody be there. When you felt a certain kind of way and you couldn't get it. When you felt a disrespect and you couldn't go nobody for it. Why? Because you was a youth. You felt like you was useless. How do you think they feel today? Step in their shoes. How do you think they feel today? So now it becomes the responsibility of us who know better. Not to tell them to make them do a thing, but to give them a blueprint of what life was like for you when you were a youth and what is out here today, and allow them to take that blueprint and live their lives with it. They got a choice. That's what life is about, choices. But you don't have a choice if you ain't been given both sides. That's not a choice. When you've been raised up in something that haven't been conducive to your growth, and because you ain't know something else. How do we get back to that? How? We must give them tangible information and allow them the right to make some choices for themselves. But we must first make sure that the information that they're receiving is the right information. And that it only will lead to a particular result. So that when they do take it, they got something to think about now. Wow, I didn't see it from that perspective before. I just seen it like this. Well, I just seen it like that. So I'm asking you, I'm asking you to ask yourself what your youth was like. Ask yourself that. And then look at our youth today and ask yourselves, are they mimicking who we were? Are they mimicking who we were? Yes, they are. They are. They're mimicking who we are. So don't get mad at them and hate on them and want to shut them down and lock them up and kill them off and all this old stuff. Don't do that. Don't do that. You've been through this. You've been through this. So don't do all of my nieces walking around me, y'all. Don't worry about it. They coming out of the jumpy, whatever it is back there. Okay, so don't worry about it. They out here having their fun. May Allah reward them. And my next door neighbor. Yeah, children. So again, just ask yourselves, we're looking at our youth today. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things we disagree with them. As was in our time when we were youth. A lot of people disagree with us on a lot of things. But the thing about it, in their disagreement, they never came to us and told us one thing that they agreed with us for. They always shoved in our faces what they disagreed about, what we were doing. They never told us what they agreed on that we were doing. So it always appeared as though they were against us than they were for us. So what did we do? We created our own circles, our own groups. People that gave us more into what we were doing and felt what we were talking about versus being around those who didn't. And all they wanted to do was break us down. So let's look more to our youth to find out our common denominators with them. Because there are a lot of things that we do agree with them with.
You guys coming back out?
A lot. You can go. It's a lot that we agree with them with. Okay? It's a lot. So I just wanted to get on here and the Brothers Corner and talk to you about that. I hope I ain't waste your time, you know what I'm saying, because I don't want to do that. I just want to keep it real for us all. I just want us all to live life and live it safely. I want us all to do what we never did to get what we never got. But to do that, we got to look within ourselves. Before we start ridiculing and talking about other people, we got to first look within ourselves. Remember, at some time you was them. How did you feel when it was being done to you? How did you feel when it was being done about you? Then figure, they must feel, the youth today must feel that much worse. That much worse. They're very scared. We talk about how we're afraid of the youth. But the youth is afraid today too. They don't know today whether education is a good thing or not a good thing. Because they don't know if they're going to be living today or tomorrow. That's a fear to live in. That's a fear to live in. That can hinder you from doing a whole lot of things. That can bring you into an isolation to do a whole lot of things. You see what I'm saying? So we got to remember their position. What is their position? What is going on with them? What's going on with their mental? Because we know what was going on with ours when we were in their shoes. Now, we stand here in the shoes of our teachers looking at our youth and doing the same thing to them as what was done to us. And that in itself is not cool. That's not cool. So, comment. Have you talked to a youth today about what he or she want out of life? What they want to be? Have you tried to encourage them in what is a common denominator between you and them? It ain't got to be somebody that you family would or something. It could be anybody, man. It could be at work. You got youth people working in places you working at. It could be in a store. It could be anywhere. Are you encouraging them? Are you asking the questions of them that perhaps they need asked because nobody listened to them if they said it on their own? Are we doing that? I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to answer those questions and I'm not answering, but ask those questions to our youth. Ask them what is it that they want. Hypothetically, just ask them. What do you want? If I can take and put the something together and it would affect you in your life, what is it that I can do? What is it that you would want to be done? What is it? Ask the youth. Quit assuming that we know what they want. Quit assuming that we know what they want. Because we're not living their lives. This is a different time, man. This is a different time. In order for me to know what the youth want, I got to go and say, what is it that you want? I can't sit here and play like I know everything. I can't. I can't. What is it that you want? What is it that you would like to see that will help you? How do you feel about the way our society is being ran? How do you feel about the way that the cultures are dealing with cultures? How do you feel the way religious folks are dealing with religious folks? Or non-religious folks are dealing with religious folks? Or religious folks are dealing with non-religious folks? How do they feel about the social contents of everything? How do they feel about it? How do they feel about how things are going around, how things are running around here? How do they feel about it? Have we ever asked them that, man? Sisters? No. We haven't asked. So we don't know. We assume. An assumption, we all know what that does. We all know what that does. So from the Brothers Corner to you, I'm asking you the next time you see a youth, ask the question. What is it that you want? What will make your life more better? What is that you want out of life? How do you feel about things and what's going on in our world today? They being affected big. They can't go to school. They being affected big. You just took them out of social environment and isolated them. How do they feel about that? That's big when you've been doing something on a repetitious basis every single day. People become very close in that environment, and just like that, they just took it away, just like that. They just no more friendship. How do you deal with it? How do they deal with that? If anybody sat and tried to ask them that, they going through it like they going through it worse than we are. They the future of our society, right? How? How do they feel about that? This is a major effect. This is a mental effect on them. There's a social effect on them. But nobody asks the youth nothing. We all assume that they're going to be all right. Give them some computers, let them sit in their house, and they can get it. They can get it just like that. Did you ask them, is that a better way for them? How do they feel about having to go in school like that? How do they feel not being able to associate with one another like that? Some children, school was the only place they did get to go somewhere. It was their way of, it was an outlet for them to be able to get out and be social. Because they don't get to do that. Now they don't get to do it at all. Did you talk to them about how they feel about that? They done built relationships in these schools. Have you talked to them about that? They got relationships with their teachers. Not computer technology relationships. I'm talking about one-on-one relationships. Have you talked to them? How do they feel about that? How do you feel down that you're living in a glass bubble? These are our future we're talking about. If you don't pay attention to them, then they will make you pay attention to what they're about, because they're going to create their own way. And their own way will be misguided, and then you ain't going to like them. You're going to do what we do today. We bash them for what they do. We just bash them for what they do. Not taking self-responsibility. Not taking self-responsibility. Self-responsibility would be, what is it I did to contribute to what they got going on? And have I asked them how it is that I can help them? I got a question. This is going to just do the whole thing, okay? Then I'm going to let y'all go, okay? I want you all over the world, I want you to do one thing. First, let me ask the question. You play a part in the lives our youth live in, right? You play a part in that. It's all tore up, right? Did you apologize to them for that? Did you apologize for being an assistance into how their lives turning out today? Because we are. What we did in the past is an effect for the future. Have we apologized to the youth for what we did? Because a lot of what they're going through, we created it. They're weeping what we sowed. Have you took the time to apologize to a youth and say, listen, I apologize to you for the ways I've been, sincerely, what I've contributed to your society today? Have you did that? No, we don't do that because we don't care. We don't care. We say we care about the youth, but we don't. They don't have a voice. They don't have a voice. And to me, that's just not cool. But who? I'm just one person. You know, I'm just your brother in the corner, that's all. Just trying to bring a little truth. So, with that, I'm loving y'all as I do always. And I pray that y'all receive more blessings than there is grains of sand. I hope that we live righteously and you continue to invite people onto the show. Go onto my YouTube page as well. I'm on YouTube, but I'm as well. You'll find these videos I do on YouTube as well. And share. Get more people involved. And start getting into the comment section. Let's not make this a one-way, but let us all join in, because that's how we learn. It's a learning process. It's not me always. I just told you, I'm not your leader. I don't want to be a leader. I just want to be your brother. I just want to talk straight truth to you. Straight truth. That's all. And I want you to do straight truth with me. So if Allah so wills, we'll keep it at that. To you I say Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you for all those, you brothers that are Christians, and to all you, the brothers that are Jews or here, and you that don't, and you sisters and all here who don't have no way of belief. I thank you for coming in and joining me. I thank you for following me. I thank you for subscribing to my page. I hope that you continue and get more people involved. I'm not collecting a dime, not trying to collect a dime. All I'm trying to do is collect blessings. Do what I'm supposed to be doing. What I said in the beginning, Do what you never did to get what you never got. Allah is the best of guidance. Let's continue to do what is right. And I love you, and I love you for the pledge of Allah. Go and do what's right and stay up. Don't forget, talk to the youth. Ask them what it is they want. Don't you create a program and thinking that that's what they need. You don't know. Peace to all of y'all out there. Stay tuned until Friday. I love you. I love you for the pledge of God. Ameen.